thanks for coming. Had some announcements go out earlier today, so Coach will give a brief opening statement, and we'll take questions regarding Friday's duel.
See the statement here about the facility. Great job by administration, program, wrestling program, fans, and very important donors to get that thing going in the way it's humming. So that's first. That's really second or third. But we're working hard on it every day. But we're in season here, and second is Penn State coming to town. My opening statement on the Penn State duel would be, our fans are looking at two matches where you have Hall and Kemerer and you have Marinelli and Joseph. And that would be doing a disservice to every other weight class. We got to be ready to go. We always say that, but it's true, and we love it when our guys are ready to go, because when they're ready to go, good things happen.
Is this a regular season defining moment for this team?
I think if you put your eggs in that basket back in December, I think you would find yourself in trouble a little bit. We've had season-defining moments the entire year. We're not just looking at 10 guys who represent 10 weight classes. That's another story. So no, but now this week, yes. Keep a good thing going. Keep a good thing going in a tremendous atmosphere.
The fact that so many fans they've sold out so fast and are so excited for this, what phrase or word would you use to how you feel about this duel?
It's highlighted, circled, asterisk, and we're here. At the beginning of the year, you do that to certain, you point and look and see where you're at, and we're here for Penn State. So,
which team has more pressure, in your opinion?
I'm not one to ask that question. I don't even know how to talk about pressure in competition. Pressure is a good thing. Every time out, I want to perform my best. That's pressure. When you look within and the challenges and how do you want to be remembered and how are you going to write your career story, you doggone right there's pressure. And our fans expect a lot, and our administration expects a lot, and this coaching staff expects a lot. And when we recruit these guys, their families expect us to deliver. So you ask Larry Lee about the pressure on poor Spencer, and he'd go, don't believe in pressure.
Speaking of Spencer, he's one of 5 Pennsylvania natives that are big wrestling, probably like Murin does. Is that just coincidence that you have all these Pennsylvania guys, or was this actually part of the plan that would help with like strip matter and stuff that you really wanted to grab?
Well, it's not part of the plan unless it's the right guys, and strip matter certainly that relationship helps us. There's no doubt. Caleb Young was the first to commit as a junior. Mike Kemerer was a year older than him, first one to sign a letter of intent. And then that started it going. The important thing there is, you mentioned strip matter, but the important thing there is that if those guys aren't fits and it doesn't make sense, then we're not just recruiting those guys because they're from Pennsylvania. We're recruiting those guys because they're the best in the country and they fit our needs. And here we are, Iowa, Penn State, and Iowa's going to have 4 guys in the lineup. Murin will not go, but doesn't mean that he doesn't factor in. I mean, he's our guy, and down the road, and we got to have Happel ready to go.
You mentioned the fit. What is the fit, Tom?
The fit is mentality, and everything that goes along with recruiting. I remember when we had some other high-powered classes that like a lot of groups came from one club, and was that by design? It just happens that they're the best guys in the country, and they're from the same club, and they all grew up in the sport together and had a good experience in a club with a coach, and you recruit them and you work on those relationships to keep a good thing going. So we've done that before, but it's got to work. It's got to work.
Have you created a pipeline yet?
You decide that. You're the pundit. I don't talk about pipelines. We want the best guys in the country, the best wrestlers that are graduating and doing it right, and we want them here if it is the best fit. From Iowa, from Pennsylvania, from Ohio, from California, Illinois. Am I leaving any state out that represents us?
Why has Marinelli had such good success against Joseph, do you think?
Arizona. Got this recruit coming from Arizona. Minnesota. Marinelli, what?
Why do you think he's had such good success against Joseph?
Marinelli is a handful. Marinelli gets up for big matches. Marinelli is a unique competitor that way. And so is Joseph, I'm sure. There's a lot of qualities there as well. It's not just Joseph. I think it's the big matches, and you could argue that with maybe you look at the quarterfinals in the national tournament last year. But Marinelli, he delivers. So, and he delivers at home, too.
How has Penn State's run they've been on helped or changed maybe some of your philosophy just to have somebody, I guess, kind of to chase the last few years?
Good question. There's been some perspective brought to our attention, and it's been over a long period of time, and we know that they are a worthy opponent, and we have to keep making sure that we don't miss anything, because they are a worthy opponent. They set the standard, they set it high, and that's why, you talk about pressure and you talk about things that, 1 and 2 and this and that, and things that just don't matter. And the thing that matters is that it's on the calendar, it's time to go, it's going to be a great environment, our fans are looking forward to it, their expectations are always high. Go out there and deliver. So, but your question, to answer it, yes, they have made us better. We had no choice. And our administration has helped us get there in a lot of different ways. And sometimes they're small ways or ways that the public doesn't know about. But they've been open-minded. And I've said it before, Gary Barta gives us everything we need. And this right here, this facility is proof of that. And we'll see what happens in next month, or actually it's next week into next month. But pretty confident that it's going to go our way. But we can't miss anything when you're trying to operate at the highest level.
How does this rank among your rivals right now? And should this be one that's wrestled every year for you, or it was not?
Good question. They're a rival because they're very, very relevant. We want the territory that they've had for, 7 out of the last 8 years, or 6 out of the 7, whatever the stat is there. But to go deeper into it, I could stop there and just say that, they're a rival. But to go deeper into it, you could say that the ADs have talked, Sanderson and Brands have talking third person there. I think you're going to see them on the schedule every year. Next year, we're slated to go out there. The year after that, we would be off. But I don't think that we'll be off. They owe us a charter, and we owe them a trip out there. The last time we did this without being on the schedule, we chartered them into Carver Hawkeye Arena.
Coach, what makes Michael Kemerer so special?
Cares a lot about his performance, and he's conscientious. He wants to do a good job. He wants to be reliable. He wants to be loyal. He works hard to do those things. You're going to probably see him in the lineup another year, which is good for us. So you see the give back. None of these guys are automatics. You talked about Marinelli and you talk about Spencer Lee. None of them are automatics. They all work hard and they thrive off each other. So he's part of that. But he's conscientious. He wants to do a good job. And the balance there is to not overwhelm yourself with that. Just go out and do the things that you do really good in the sport of wrestling. You're going to be where you want to be.
Crucial has he been to what you guys have built the last few years?
He's crucial. He was the one that signed the letter of intent and was in Iowa City, Iowa first. And you talked about a pipeline. Well, maybe he started a pipeline to a certain degree. So he's very crucial. And you can't understate Caleb Young. You can't understate those two things that happened in history. And we had to work hard at both of them. And, you know, there's just a lot of things that you look back on. And, you know, that recruiting trip with Kemerer, that's legend and lore now. And, you know, who knows if I would have just tried to talk him into it on the phone, what would have happened there. But I got in the doggone car by myself and owned it. And we screwed up. And that's what you do. When you screw up, you own it. You don't bring your assistant coach with you for backup. You go sit in front of the firing squad. And the firing squad that we sat in front of, Beth and Ray Kemerer, are pretty kind. They're pretty kind people, even though they want the best for their son. And I think that it just meant something to the way that we own things. And we always talk about how we're different. That's why we're different. That's why we, you know, and Pat Santoro is one of my favorite colleagues in the sport at Lehigh, and we were head to head with him. So there's integrity there. And so we were head to head with integrity.
Now, can you share what that message was that you gave Mike and those guys then, what, 3 or 4 years ago?
It's a recruiting pitch. It's boring. It's boring.
Well, I mean, considering where you guys
Listen, you're right for us, we're right for you.
Okay.
When there's a lot of common ground, beautiful things happen. We know that wrestling's important to you. It's important to us. You know, if you have aspirations after college, you know, we have those opportunities as well. We're about winning World Olympic and national championships, and we're about doing it the right way. And by the way, our athletic director has a philosophy and a mantra that's evident right when you walk in his office. There's a 3-legged stool there. Win, graduate, and do it right. You're going to get taken care of academically. Let's go visit the Jardine Athletic Learning Center and meet your guidance counselor, who's, by the way, the best in the business, Doug Coonrad. You're going to get everything you need in your academic support. I'll tell you what else. We got the best medical team, too. And you know what? Our sports marketing, our SID is the best in the business. Nobody works harder than this guy right here. You're going to be taken care of. You're going to be a rock star. There's no place like wrestling in Iowa City, Iowa. Russia, Iran, they're not better. Iowa City, Iowa is the Mecca. That's the message we gave them.
But the message on more than just win or lose, Tom, it sounds like it was, I mean, consider where Penn State was and the state of Pennsylvania was.
Yeah, well, you know, this guy doesn't concede anything. Might have been a little naive, but I'm not naive anymore because I'm doing this. And we're making sure that we're not missing anything. And I got Brewer working. And when I say we have Brewer working. He's a team. And so we're not missing anything.
I think the fire marshal will let 16,000 squeeze in.
I don't know. Is that the word on the street? I didn't hear that. Is that the word on the street? And then there's a CAM bus, the most efficient organization on the planet. And if you watch one of my favorite Christmas movies, Miracle on 34th Street, the original one, they said that the post office that's hogwash. The CAM bus is. CAM bus is the most efficient operation on the planet, and Kirk Ferentz said so. And by God, I believe in Kirk Ferentz.
Would you ever want this to be in a bigger facility?
No, this is Carver Hawkeye Arena, Mike. Come on, man. Enough silly questions. We got some studs back there. They're ready to talk. Thanks.
Thanks, Coach.